Good afternoon. Welcome to the webinar by Aussie Education on education and migration, policy changes, rule changes, and what's happening within Australia for 2024, what you can expect, what is the future outcome will be, and how you can make sure that you are well prepared for 2024 so that things can be in a much better position than what it is at the moment. So let's first try to understand why Australia? Is it a good option? Are you making a right choice by choosing Australia or not? So at the moment, when you look at the world stage altogether, there is a lot of things which are happening, which is making Australia as one of the most preferred country. So what are those things? So for example, number one, if you compare between Australia and Canada at the moment, I'm not saying that because I'm sitting here in Sydney, but just a fact which cannot be denied by anyone. If you are comparing Australia versus Canada at the moment, the job prospectivity in Australia is much better than Canada. Trying to find a place to live here in Australia is much better than Canada. Yes, Canada got bit of advantage over going to the pathway compared to Australia, but Australia is also changing its PR pathway rules in 2024, and hopefully it will be much more user friendly than what it has been in the past. So all those things are making Australia as one of the preferred country before UK, before Canada. I won't compare here USA because the segment of students or migrant going to USA is very different compared to UK, Canada, and Australia. So when we put UK, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand in one bucket, uh, where I'm looking from, Australia is going to be one of the best country, one of the best preferred country in 2024. So it's very important to understand how you fit into the scheme of things, what are the rule changes happening, and what is expected in the future so that you can be well prepared. So for example, let's start with students who are already here in Australia at the moment. So what is happening in onshore market? When we say onshore, that means the students who are already in Australia or the applicants who are already in Australia holding some other visa and trying to apply for a student visa. So first of all, I will cover a visitor visa. Due to some restriction or due to some ineligibility for applicant to able to apply for a student visa from offshore, there are a lot of people who comes to Australia on a visitor visa or tourist visa, and they apply for a student visa while here in Australia. During the COVID time, it was like a honeymoon period. Most of the visas were getting approved, getting granted without looking into financials, without looking into eligibility criteria, without looking into a future prospect, or without considering even a GT, you can say. But now things have changed. In last 3 to 4 weeks, there has been a very increased in numbers for refusal of visas which has been applied onshore, where it has been from visitor visa or tourist visa to student visa. Why this is happening? This is happening because of non-compliant or because of non-progression, which can be seen as a part of the visa application in form of genuine temporary intent criteria. I'll give you a few examples. So let's say someone who has done master's degree back in India, Pakistan, Nepal, or Bangladesh. They have come here on a visitor visa saying that they want to go around and explore Australia as a tourist destination and all those things. And after landing here within 15 days, 20 days, or 1 month, they are now going to apply or they're applying for cookery, automotive, or carpentry. So, where is the career progression? How would you say that this is your genuine intention to study? Because, number one, you have done master's degree back in your home country, which has nothing to do with cookery, automotive, or carpentry, or other weight courses which you are trying to do. Number two, you have not even worked into that sector. For example, you're applying for a cookery course, but you have never worked in a hospitality sector at all. So how are you going to justify that you want to become a best chef in the world and go back to your home country to open this so-called chain of restaurants or so-called employability into the 5 star 7 star hotels? That doesn't make sense. So any visa when you try to apply, there's a criteria of validity as well as there's criteria of eligibility. So question here is, can I able to apply for a student visa from tourist visa while in Australia? Will that be a valid visa? Answer is yes, it will be a valid visa. But when they check the eligibility for that visa, whether you are showing a genuine intention to study or not, that's where the problem is starting. So please be sure that when you want to apply for a student visa while holding a tourist visa or visitor visa here, match that study with your previous studies and work experience. Don't just blindly follow cookery, automotive, carpentry, or advanced diploma in civil construction design or telecom engineer just because there is so-called possibility of PR. Because once the visa get refused, you have to go through the AT process, appeal process, which makes life lot harder. Now, second point which I want to put into is downgrading of the course and concurrent COEs. So there was a provision by which international students would have gone for a concurrent study by having a concurrent COEs. So basically, the provision of concurrent COE was being introduced to make international students more employable within the Australian market by acquiring a better skill, a better education, which will complement their primary principal course. But what happened, during the COVID period, a lot of agents, a lot of colleges, a lot of students, they started manipulating and started misusing this idea of concurrent COE. So what happened is, from Indian subcontinent and from some other countries, students were landing here on a bachelor degree or master's degree, and instead of completing 6 months of their principal course and trying to change to some other same AQF level, Australian qualification framework level of studies, they were jumping into wet courses of cookery, automotive, carpentry, and other painting and design and other popular PR possible courses. But by doing that, they were going from AQF level 7, 8, or 9 to AQF level 3, 4, and 5, which is breach of their visa condition. And what they were doing is they were using this pathway of concurrent COEs or taking a future COE for the so-called future bachelor master's program. These things are not going to work anymore because the provision of concurrent COE has been closed. The door has been closed from the Australian government. Still, we heard that few of the colleges are issuing the concurrent COEs, but please do understand that concurrent COE can put you into big trouble and can also put the colleges into big trouble. Why? Because Prism is the system where all the COEs get generated for the international students. So what happened? For example, my name is Satya Shukla. So with the new rule changes, what has happened few weeks back, there cannot be a concurrent COE for Satya Shukla anymore. But what few of the colleges are doing is between Satya and Shukla, they are putting one more space or they are putting some dot to generate the new COE and later on going to edit that again. That's an illegal activity because if you change anything within your name or like any character or anything else being introduced, that means that person is not holding an Australian visa at all. So don't try to play with the system like that. That will put you into big trouble and can also lead to cancellation of your visa or maybe 3 years ban in the future for fraudulent activities. So in an order to get a better future, don't close the door for Australia forever. It's very easy to get misguided because of the greed and so-called brighter future. But please don't go for that one. Also, what happened during the COVID time, there was no work restriction at all for the international students. So what that means is any international students within Australia, they were allowed to work full time. Definition of full time can differ from student to student, applicant to applicant. Somebody can think 38 hours is full time, somebody can say think 70 hours is full time. So we are not bothered to go into that details. So during this period of COVID with no work restriction, there were plenty of colleges which we term as a ghost colleges popped out in the market. So what these ghost colleges were doing, they were paying more than normal, very high commission to the agents. No need for the student to go to the college. No need for the student to do any assignment, attendance, or anything like that. Online classes, offline classes, don't worry about anything. It was all packaged. That you take this admission, you pay this money, come after 2 years, get your certificate, and go with the skill assessment or whatever you would like to do. Now, ESCOA has cracked down on these so-called ghost colleges very heavily. So please be aware when you are going to any agency, any consultancy, or any other colleges. Don't ask any more the stupid question like, I don't want to go to college, I don't want to do assignment and things like that. By doing this, you will be digging your own grave for the future. Things are changing, time is changed already. So you need to make sure that you also change with the changing time frame. Otherwise, the problem will start kicking in. At the age of 20, 22, 25, you don't want to get into this mess. So by having all those things, what is the future for the applicants, for the students who are already in Australia? So you need to understand most of the international students who comes to Australia, they come with the dream of settling down in Australia. And there's no denial about that one. No denial at all. So there are shortcuts which can lead you to PR pathway, or there is some hard work and proper planning which will lead you to the PR. So there are plenty of studies, for example, nursing, social work, community services, childcare, engineering, IT also. In IT, you can go for artificial intelligence, data science, cyber security, mobile app and gaming applications, all those things which will lead you to a better PR prospect. And as well as these studies will make you a professional who are in demand worldwide. So what we call as a global citizen. So geographical boundaries of any country will not able to stop you. You will be in demand due to your education and skills in a field which is in demand worldwide. COVID has shown the importance of cybersecurity. ChatGPT has shown the importance of AI. Okay, data science is always, of course, in demand. Mobile application, gaming application, as you can see, that industry has grown by more than 2600% in last 2 years. So all these things are in very much demand. Nursing, nobody can deny the importance of nurses, whether it's a registered nurse or enrolled nurse. Okay, what we have experienced over last 3 years. Same goes for the social workers, same goes for the community workers, same goes for the child care. So choose a pathway which makes you a better person than what you are at the moment, makes you a truly global citizen, so that you don't have to worry about whether I got 60 points, 70 points, 80 points, or 90 points. What you need to worry about, how many jobs I'm going to choose from, what is at my disposal, where I'm going to work with. Will I work with New South Wales Health? Will I work with any other provider? Or which are the companies which I can choose rather than the companies can choose me, or rather than just going for a PR pathway? For the more information, contact Aussie Education. We got offices in India, Nepal, and Australia. All our numbers are ending with 107 107. You can go to our website and book an appointment from there also. And you can ask our education consultant or matching agent who will surely going to guide you for a better future. Now, if I move to the same thing, students offshore, what are the future for the students from India, Nepal, Pakistan, Bangladesh, or other countries? A lot of noise is happening about GST and GT going and all those things. So, what is all these things? In last few intakes, there has been a lot of refusal, a lot of copy pasted refusal also, a lot of unfair and unsubstantial refusal also, where the profile and files has been excellent, but somehow case officer has thought that this doesn't deserve a visa for Australia. So what's happening now? The government has understood, which is really important to understand for all of us. Government has understood that international students who are coming to Australia, they are coming here with the purpose of settlement, most of them, if not all. So that's why, like, before, still, I won't say before, still, GT is in progress, in effect, genuine temporary intent criteria, where you have to say that why you want to do this course, why you have chosen this provider, why Australia, why not other country, what job or what future you're going to get from doing this course, how would you become one of the best in your home country by doing this course from a world-class education system from Australia. And in short, you have to lie a lot. Most of the students, they don't even write their GT, which everyone knows in the market, everyone knows in the industry. But somewhere down the line, everybody have closed their eyes. So to make sure that government can able to understand properly and able to align this future prospect with education, they are trying to bring GST, genuine student test. Not much have been revealed about the GST at the moment. Everybody is saying that there is going to be an interview for each and every applicant. How feasible that will be, how that will be implemented, that's a question at the moment, like, which is a big question, because as far as we know, being in industry, Department of Home Affairs don't have that many resources where they can conduct a GST interview for each and every student. So that might be outsourced to some other company, some other provider, just like any other visa what we apply for other countries. But if the GST get implemented in one way, it will be right also, because student can tell their intention of post-study work visa, how they are going to work, what they are going to looking for, and what are the clear prospect after their studies and all those things. They don't have to lie from the first place. Secondly, there have been a very, very, very increased volume of fraudulent documents in terms of academic, English, or financials, which need to be stopped. Why? Because there has been a lot of AI process which has been implemented, and there's a lot of checks which are getting implemented by the department. So as an applicant, when you submit any fraudulent or bogus documentation, you don't only get a refusal of your visa, but you do get a possible ban of 3 years and up to 10 years for identity theft, okay, from Australia. And that ban can go further and impact your further visa also in the future. So you need to make sure that you put what is right, rather than depending on any agent or any other third party for help to get a visa by using illegal means. There has been, like, a lot of drama happening from few intakes about universities and higher education providers restricting quite a lot of states from India: Punjab, Haryana, Uttaranchal, Uttarakhand, uh, Gujarat, part of Telangana. I'm being from India, never support this kind of restriction. Why? Because not all the students from these areas are a fraud student, are using a fraudulent document. They are genuine one also. But at the same time, when we look from the provider perspective, imagine someone who got 7 each or 8 each in English. They land in Australia, they go to the class, they can't even speak one word of English. They fail all the 3 or 4 subjects. And yes, I can understand it's a new country, new way of education, because I have also came here as an international student. But imagine somebody who got a first class, okay, 70% in India in engineering, came here for master in engineering, failed all 4 subjects. But more than failing a subjects is a quantum of marks what they are getting into those subjects: 1, 2, 3, 4 marks. That doesn't justify, and that show that there's something wrong. So these kind of fraudulent activities were too much into practice in the past few intakes, a few years, and that's why the providers have restricted all those areas where this most of these fraudulent documents were coming from. It's not about any race, religion, or any other discrimination against any students or anything like that. Everybody wants to safeguard their interest. I still say that I'm not in favor of restriction based on a country or a state or a religion or a race, but to safeguard their own interest, providers have to take some action. So how this can be nullified or can be reduced is by making sure that you do the right thing as an applicant. Everybody is in the business. A lot of agents, a lot of third parties, they will try to like get a visa for you at any cost because they will be getting 10, 15, 20, 30 lakhs rupees from you. But do you want to take that pathway and invite trouble for you in the future? That's a question you need to ask yourself. After this, very important to understand there is no more concurrent COEs because a lot of students coming from India and Nepal, they're coming here for higher education, and within first few weeks there might be a death in the family, so-called death, there might be something happening wrong with the finances and everything, and they were trying to get a refund back from the university and colleges and going for a lot of wet courses by use of concurrent COE. That's not going to happen anymore. Now you need to complete 6 months of your principal course. Also, please understand it's a principal course. So, for example, if you are coming here for a diploma leading to bachelor course, that means your bachelor is your principal course. So, you need to complete the full diploma course of 1 year or 1.5 year, and you need to complete the 6 months of a bachelor course before you can change your provider, change your course. So, it's very important to understand that. If you're in doubt, visit Aussie Education offices or book an online appointment through our website. Now, going back to Nepal, since May 2022, somehow department have taken a totally U-turn on Nepal. One or another refusal reasons are popping up out, S56, S57, they keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. So what I can advise to the applicants from Nepal that work very hard on your documentation process. Don't jump into the next intake for the sake of coming to Australia straight away. At the moment, as per the Nepalese market is concerned, there is a lot of progression happening towards Canada, which is not a bad idea because you want to go overseas, you want to have a dream of settling down overseas, no problem. But Australia has been one of the most preferred country for a lot of Nepalese students because their relative, friends, or someone whom they know, he or she is settled down now in Australia due to large volume of application what we have seen over last 6 to 8 years. So still the doors for Australia they have not closed. But what you need to understand how to open those doors. You have to work very hard on your documentation to make sure that your financials, your academic, and your English justify your application for a particular provider. I won't be able to explain much, but if you want to understand more about this one, visit our offices in Nepal and our expert education consultants will help you out in understanding the financial requirement, in planning your documentation properly, helping you to gather your documentation properly, and making sure that we match your studies and experience with a provider where you can get a higher visa success chances and hopes. With all those things, future is looking bright for the student application from 2024 onwards, February 2024 onwards for international students because GST is expected to come into the place, concurrent CO is gone, and there will be more focus on understanding the need for the student in their own words by having an interview rather than writing 10 pages of lie that they will not do this, they will not do that, and they will go back to their home country. So all those will come to the end very soon. So stay tuned, make sure that you work on your documentation, make sure don't get into any of those help from bogus or fraudulent documents and things like that. That's not going to help. Now the hot topic is about migration. I have came here, I've done my 2 years, 3 years, 4 years of studies. Last year was raining nomination for everyone and anyone, 65 points, 70 points, 70 points, everybody was getting visa. Somehow I missed that train, and now what? I heard that in 2023-24 there are 132 seats for skilled visas altogether, but when the quotas got released few weeks back, it's only about 16,000 altogether. Where am I standing? Will I get a chance? What's happening here? So don't get stressed, guys. If you're onshore, keep working on the points wherever you can gather the points. Points can be in form of your work experience, by doing PY if you are eligible, by doing NATI, by making sure if you got 7 each in English, try to get 8 each, that will boost 10 points more. If you got 6 each in English, try to get 7 each, that will again boost 10 points. So that way, try to gather more and more points. You need to work on things which is in your hand. You cannot control the invitation, you cannot control the points, you cannot control the pool of EOI. But what you can control is your own points, how to maximize your own points. This allocation, what has happened at the moment, what has been given to all the state at the moment, is not a final allocation, it's an interim allocation for sure. There will be much more different way of migration policies which will come very soon. I don't know how much truth is there or not, but what is expected is that Australian government wants to make a skill-based migration in a term where the migration system is more transparent and open rather than just fighting on the points and points and points and not getting the professional what they want. So how this is going to happen? This is going to happen on the basis of a so-called tiering system. So for example, like when you go to book a ticket for airlines, there is a first class, there is a business class, there is a economy class. So what is expected? It is expected, nothing like from the sources, from the confirmed news or whatever it is. But what is expected is, for example, like a first class. So what will happen is, if you are earning $98,000 and above, then you will be hopefully invited for PR straight away, irrespective of your occupation or your points, because you are into a high demand job category. That's a first class, no string attached. Then comes the business class. So in that one, your occupation matter, not the point, but occupation matters. So if you are from a nursing background, social worker, teachers, early childhood teachers, and all those things, then your occupation will lead you to the PR. Point may not be considered there. Then comes the economic class, where you need to worry about your points, you need to worry about your occupation, you need to worry about the occupation is in list or in demand or not, and how is going to happen. So this possible tiering system will come very soon, and let's see how they are going to shape this up, because it's very hard to implement than what I am advising here now or what I'm trying to explain you. And whether this will happen or not, that also in question, we don't know. So question here is, what can I do to maximize my chances of getting a PR? It's very simple. Keep working on your points. Keep trying to keep like looking for a education prospect in a high demand sectors like graduate diploma in early childhood. 1 year course makes you a child care teacher and in high demand. Okay, if you are into nursing, social work, go for it. Try and explore the future. Don't think that you are on a 485 visa at the moment, so let's enjoy life for next 3 years with the full work rights. That's very wrong attitude. Because if you got a 485 visa for let's say 5 years now with the new rule changes at the age of 25, and if you waste these 5 years, by the time you realize or by the time you try to explore the new option of life, new option in life, you will be already 30. So you'll be on the other side of your age bracket. You don't want to get into that trouble. So yes, getting a 485 is a very important step of your journey in Australia, but use those years properly, not to just earn the money by having a full work rights, but to make sure you earn the points and make the pathway for the future to reach to the PR 189, 190, 491 visas. Again, any doubt, anything, contact Aussie Education offices in India, Nepal, and Australia here. We are here to help you. Now, same thing goes for the migration offshore. Offshore migration is almost closed at the moment. Before my friend has lost the visa, lost the EOI, and he got invitation at 70 points. I'm sitting on 80 points, nothing is happening. Yes, nothing is happening at the moment, but soon things will start kicking in more and more. There will be a more focused on offshore migration also. There will be categories which will be more in demand. So please make sure if you are offshore, you get through your skill assessment, because to get to any GSM visa, general skill migration visa, whether it's 189, 190 or 491, you need to have the positive skill assessment into your occupation or crew-related occupation. So please make sure that you get your skill assessment done, get your work experience documents properly arranged, get your academic properly arranged, and lodge your EY and keep your EY updated all the times. It's very important to understand that if your EYs are not updated, then there's every chance you're going to miss things out. For any help, call our migration team. We got the expert migration agents who can help you with all type of migration needs. But you need to understand, you need to keep working on your points. You need to have positive skill assessments for a chance for the future to make Australia as a home. Again, anything, any help you need, Aussie Education is here. Now let's go back to skill assessment because a lot of drama is happening in the skill assessment arena also. Few days back, Wet Assess has released a statement that from 25th of September they are not going to take any more skill assessment application for quite a few number of trade occupations, and a lot of agents and a lot of Facebook groups, a lot of TikTokers, they started saying that from 25th of September, if you are chef, nothing is going to happen. Close. Australia is closed for motor mechanic. Skill assessment cannot happen. So lodge your skill assessment before 25th of September. It's not like that. Please stop a negative propaganda. Wet Assess, which is a body which has been authorized from the TRA Trade Recognition in Australia to carry out the skill assessment, is an organization. They have got a huge number of applications for a skill assessment at the moment, and understaffing is there for sure because every industry has suffered a shortage of staff during the COVID and after the COVID. So to make sure to avoid the disappointment of a very longer skill assessment time frame, Wet Assess want to stop taking a new application for a certain time frame so that they can clear all the backlogs. So it's not that if you don't submit your skill assessment by 25th of September, it will be end of life. Not like that. At the same time, there are other bodies also, other companies also, who have been authorized by TRA, Trade Recognition Australia, to carry out assessment for these occupations. Wet Assess is not the only body, and this skill assessment is getting stopped by Wet Assess, not by TRA. So Wet Assess is not going to process the new application in order to sort out the workload which they are having at the moment within their organization, within their company. But there are other companies, other organizations who will keep carrying the work to get the skill assessment done through TRA because they're authorized company, and they will keep going with doing all those skill assessment. So don't be scared. Make sure you got all the documents properly done and everything. Contact Aussie Education on 0406 107 107. Don't worry about 25th September deadline. It's not end of the life at all. There are other companies who will help to get the skill assessment done from the TRA itself. So you don't have to worry about that at all. At all, at all, at all. Okay. So anyone saying that the skill assessment is not going to happen after 25th of September, that's a wrong information. So you need to make sure that you gather all the documents properly, make sure your work experience is related with your occupation. If not, try to find out the occupation which is closely related with your work experience. That way things will be a lot easier to get a skill assessment. And once you get a positive skill assessment, you can go for 189, 190 or 491 visa EOI application and possible nomination. So please don't go on the rumors, don't get scared. Things are pretty easy, things are pretty normal. Yes, Vetas is not doing that, but there are other companies who are going to do that one. Now, you have heard all about this education, migration, and things are not as bad as what you have been thinking in last few weeks. Keep your hope alive. Make sure that you work on your point. Make sure you choose an education which makes you a global citizen altogether. Aussie Education and our team is here to help you out. If you're in Australia, call 0406 107 107. If you're in India, call 9100 107 107. If you're in Nepal, call 9819-107-107. You can email us on info@aussieeducation.com.au, or you can visit our website www.aussieeducation.com.au, and on the right hand side you can see a book an appointment. If you want a migration appointment, it will be charged $149. If you want an education appointment, it's a free. So use all these resources. You can chat also with us online. So all the help, all the resources are there, but you need to make a decision. What exactly I want to study, what exactly I want to do to in order to get a possible nomination for my occupation. It's very easy to get misguided or getting confused with a lot of information on Google, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram factory, all these areas. But please, please, please do visit a proper education and marketing agent for a further help if you cannot come to education, or if you cannot contact our offices all over the world. We are here to help you out. My name is Satya Shukla. I'm a global CEO for Aussie Education Group as well as a registered marketing agent. For anything and everything, we are here to help you as long as you want to help yourself. So with this, I'm going to finish this webinar. Any questions, feel free to ask us. We are here to help you. But please, please, please make a proper informed decision for your life and for the hopes of your parents for your better future. Don't compromise on the future. Australia is one of the better options for 2024, if not the best. Thank you. Hope to see you soon and hope to get in touch with you soon. Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye.